My mic's on, right? Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. Um, no, no, no Minecraft weather mod thing this week. So you're off the table, and it just started today. Anyway, we have a multi-day severe weather potential, with a enhanced risk of severe storms today, for parts of around Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, um, and Florida and Georgia. But tomorrow is a lot more of a significant severe weather day. We have a moderate risk of severe weather for portions of West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. I'm mostly focused on tomorrow, obviously, one, because I'm in this risk and I'm pretty significant risk, but two, because this is a higher risk. This covers a lot more population. So, anyway, getting to today's first, because that's what we have to do. There is an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms this afternoon through tonight across parts of the Mid-South into the lower Ohio Valley and across parts of the eastern Gulf states. Widespread strong to severe wind gusts may accompany a developing squall line across and east of the mid/lower Mississippi Valley this afternoon into this evening. A couple of strong tornadoes are also possible within and just ahead of the line across parts of the lower Ohio Valley into Mid-South and the Gulf Coast regions. I don't have whatchamacallit up right now. Do not have the old chat saved because I just want to use the old chat. Right there, it does. That's gonna work for me. While we let that load, we're gonna look at the models. Why is this affecting the Ohio Valley region? I hope this covers it. Just about. We'll use it. Well, how did we get it to? Only 9. Yeah, we used 12. Alright. So we can clearly see a very long line of severe storms. I don't know why I skipped that far. A very long line of severe storms does take aim throughout the Ohio Valley region, and that's obviously what's going to be our main risk. Let me sign in. That's why I'm getting ads. These storms do look to be extremely significant and will impact my region later tomorrow. We'll get to that later. Looking at the updraft velocity, not too significant in the 0 to 3 kilometer. We obviously see some in like that Missouri to Illinois region and some parts in Mississippi, but we're not seeing anything too crazy in the 0 to 3. If we look at 2 to 5 kilometers, again, there's about the same. The most biggest ones I'm looking at right now are the ones in Missouri and the ones that cross Missouri into Illinois. Uh, we're gonna look at every other model. We're not gonna look at every single updraft velocity. We're just gonna kind of look at reflectivity now, just to see if every single model agrees with the intense squall line, which clearly this one does. Just it doesn't seem to be as intense as what the HRR showed, but it's still a very intense. It's still a very strong looking squall line. This one's not fully out yet. Nor are these, so we're just gonna skip over them. I'm not the biggest fan because these are another than 3 kilometers, but they just don't look like it. But yeah, again, a very intense squall line. Yeah, FSA is not out yet, so I'm just not gonna use it. Alright, that's everything we got. I gotta log in. I can't deal with this. I mean, I can look at parameters. That's not what we do on here. We just gotta, communicate the risks and go from there. Looking at the CSU MLP risk, they don't paint that significant of a risk. Obviously, they have more of a win risk, and even that's not too crazy. I don't really agree with what they're saying. Um, no, we're not gonna look at NATO cast. We're not gonna do that. We don't need to do that. I do want to take a look at, when I hit S, I would hope it opens into the Storm Prediction Center and not satellite imagery. Look at the meso analysis. Just want to put a select on, not this. Yes. So looking at it right now, surface-based convection is not that high, and there is a lot of kin. And that kin should overspread within the next 6 hours, and our cape doesn't really get to be that high. But what is going to be very high is the effective shear. That's going to be extremely high, and that's going to support very good storms. And looking at the effective STP, not the absolute highest. Effective SOH is pretty good. So yeah, this is clearly going to be a high shear, low cape type day. Anyway, moving on to the alert, the thing. This is a major widespread severe weather event with hazards stretching from the mid-Mississippi Valley through the lower Ohio Valley into the Tennessee Valley, lasting well into the night. Day one's weather outlook summary: a powerful amplifying shortwave trough and a rapidly deepening surface low are driving a high-end severe weather day across a huge swath of central and eastern United States. The environment strongly favors widespread damaging winds, embedded tornadoes, a conditional but real risk of significant tornadoes, long track squall line activity lasting deep into the night. The mid-Mississippi Valley into the lower Ohio Valley into the Tennessee Valley. The setup is a deepening surface low tracks from northern Missouri into lower Michigan. 50 to 75 knots southerly low-level jet pumps moisture northward. Dew points surge from 50s all the way to lower Michigan. Cape becomes marginal to moderate across the entire warm sector. A cold front surges eastward, triggering rapid storm development. Early afternoon, this would be Arkansas slash Mississippi. No, Arkansas slash Missouri into Illinois slash Kansas. Initial storm form in the environment favors for supercells and tornadoes, but strong linear forcing and weak capping may limit discrete supercells, pushing storms toward a more linear mode. Conditional significant tornado risk. Even with the tendency towards a line, the environment supports strong low-level shear, long hydrographs, strong instability for March. This means significant tornadoes remain possible, especially early, if any storms can stay semi-discrete. Late afternoon into the evening, this will be the Ohio slash Tennessee valleys. As the squall line matures, primary hazards are going to be widespread damaging winds, some potentially significant, embedded tornadoes within Boeing segments. The wind threat is so high because of extreme strong winds just above the surface. Deep convection can easily mix these down. Fast storm motions increase the impact. Geographic extent: the line pushes eastward into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, eastern Kentucky slash Tennessee, much of Georgia by 12Z Thursday. This is a long duration wind event. Late night, this would be Alabama into Georgia into the Florida Panhandle. This is a conditional risk. Earlier model runs hinted at a late night super cell slash tornado environment across Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. More recent guidance has backed off, showing less discrete storm potential, more dominant linear structures, less favorable low-level shear late at night. Storm Prediction Center is keeping the enhanced risk for now, pending the 12Z model cycle. Bottom line, this is a widespread high-impact severe weather day. Early Arkansas slash Missouri into Louisiana slash Kentucky. Conditional significant tornado potential. Supercells possible, but maybe short-lived. Mid such late afternoon into the night, a powerful squall line sweeps east. Widespread damaging winds, embedded tornadoes. Threat continues into Kentucky slash Tennessee slash Georgia overnight. Late night would be a conditional tornado risk in Alabama slash Georgia slash Florida. Confidence lower than earlier runs. Again, just to really map out the risks here, up to a 10% chance of tornadoes, and this is a Sig 1 for parts of Kentucky, Tennessee, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi, and another one for parts of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. The wind risk is very high, up to a 45% chance with Sig 1 for parts of Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. And then up to a 15% hail risk for parts of Kentucky, Missouri, a little bit of Illinois, Tennessee, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. How about I wasn't neglecting Texas at all? Didn't any of this? No, I wasn't. Cool. Yeah, donut show. Anyway, tomorrow, not good. There's a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms from northern South Carolina across North Carolina into Virginia and Maryland. Widespread severe storms are forecasted on Monday for parts of the Mid-Atlantic states and Southeast. Tornadoes potentially strong and a particularly damaging winds are most likely from South Carolina into Maryland during the afternoon. Significant severe storms potential overall will extend from eastern Georgia / Florida Panhandle into Pennsylvania. Gonna look at the what the models have to say. Some possible discreteness would start in the early time, and this is probably in the morning, so this probably shouldn't be anything too significant. We do see a second round of those could be discrete storms or they could be clustered, but then we see the line of severe storms push though. Moving over to NAM. NAM here does again say some possible discreteness to start this off, but then shows a line of severe storms pushing through. We're focusing on that moderate risk of severe storms, that region. These two are not ready. This is ready. Again, some looks like discreteness, but the line just looks really weak and disorganized. So we're gonna have to monitor that and see what what is gonna happen. Anyway, day one outlook is describing a classic high-end early spring severe weather. Okay, this is it's day two. Alright, this is shaped up to be a widespread multi-regional severe weather day on Monday with two major quarters. Georgia into the Florida Panhandle, morning supercells, tornadoes, hail. Carolinas into Virginia, into Maryland, into southern PA, afternoon supercells, plus a powerful squall line. This environment is unusually dynamic for mid-March with extreme shear, strong scent, and rich moisture all overlapping during peak heating. Trojan Florida Panhandle, the morning threat. What's happening is an early day storms are likely already ongoing. Environment is primed even in the morning, mid to upper 60 dew points, strong shear, steep slaps, rates talking 7 Celsius per kilometer. Hazards are going to be supercells with tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. This region gets the first round of severe storms. This would be the now second one is the Carolinas into Southern Virginia afternoon supercell quarter. This is the highest end tornado quarter in the day 2 outlook. This area is concerning because I'm morning showers lift north, allowing heating. Surface trout deepens, low-level winds back and strengthen. Effective storm rate of velocity would be about 300 to 400 meters squared per second squared. Very supportive for strong tornadoes. Storm motions would be 50 knots or greater, which favors long-tracked tornadoes. Hazards are going to be discrete supercells with tornadoes, some possibly strong, large hail, and damaging winds. This is the zone where a long track tornado is explicitly mentioned as possible. Carolinas into Virginia into Maryland into southern PA would be a squall line. As the cold front catches up, a robust, fast-moving line develops. Hazards would be a particularly damaging winds, QLCS tornadoes, widespread severe coverage from South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, southern PA. This line likely peaks late afternoon into early evening. Limiting factors, eventually storms run into the cooler Atlantic air, which weakens them after dark. Big picture takeaway, Monday is a high-end severe weather day with morning supercells in Georgia/Florida, afternoon strong tornado potential in the Carolinas, a widespread damaging wind squall line from Carolinas into Maryland into Pennsylvania, extreme shear 50 to 75 knots greater at 850 millibars, 60 dew points reaching southern PA. That's everything. We should be live today. We are going to be live today. It's not a should be. The question is when. Probably around 2 p.m. Yeah, something around there. Should be live around 2 p.m. Give or take a few hours. Somewhere from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. we should be live. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Bye everyone.